Hi, Tim Selesky here for Popular Woodworking magazine. The project I'm going to introduce today is the BARN Workbench. Now BARN is an acronym for a local community organization here in the Seattle area. BARN is the Bainbridge Island Artisan Resource Network. It's a group of artisans that got together to build themselves a community workshop as a place to share their experiences, ideas, education, and of course tools. Among this group are a group of woodworkers. Now what I did is I volunteered to design and create a new workbench design for them. And this is the bench here. This workbench, it's a modern Roubeau style bench, much in line with some of the excellent benches that Chris Swartz, one of the editors of Popular Woodworking, has built in the past. There's a few little differences that I put in here. For one thing, one of the biggest challenges of this bench was how can you make 9 benches on a budget in a limited period of time, working with woodworkers that have a little less experience. Another thing that I've done is try to put in some details that make it a little more comfortable ergonomically to work on a workbench. It's given me a chance to try out some ideas that I've had for a number of years in workbenches. Also, I've used a CNC to help build parts of this bench, to speed up the process, to do some of the milling, and put in some of the accuracy. Let me take you on a quick tour of the BARN Workbench. So the front vise is a leg vise, as you can see, using bench-crafted classic hardware with a solo crisscross mechanism to keep everything in line. The front of the bench itself is flush. It allows you to put a board and cover the length of this, clamp it into the vise if you want to hand plane the edges. Now the construction of the base is very conventional. The frame of the bench is made out of 4x4 material. What I've done is use 4x4 conventional wood that you would get at any home center. I've laminated 2 pieces together in order to make the legs, to make them a little thicker and a little heavier. Prototype of the bench was put together with half-lap joinery. But for the production run of 8 more benches, I'm actually going to simply use dominoes. 4 dominoes at each joint part. Should give a lot of glue surface and keep the bench strong. The top itself is actually a pre-made top. Rather than glue together 9 bench tops, I thought this would go quicker and easier. It's a 1 7/8 inch thick top made out of western maple from a company called Perfect Plank. Now the layout of the top is actually one of the things that make the bench a little bit different. I'll show you a few more details. Each workbench will come with a series of stops that drop into these dog and holdfast holes. You can see there's one on each side at 45 degrees. There's straight ones here on the end. And then there's also perpendicular to the front of the bench tops as well. So you can hold things at this distance, or along the front. And that's particularly handy for tools like dominoes, where you really want to have something to stop your forward movement as you use the tool. One of the more obvious differences in the workbench is the Vise Chop itself. Rather than a flat chop, I chose to get a little bit creative, and so what I did is in my CAD software I created 3-dimensional designs for different surfaces of the workbench. And so each of the 9 workbenches will have a unique vise chop. You can see here I've got these 3D concentric circles forming the front of the bench. Now there's no particular functional reason for this, of course, it's merely aesthetic, but it does give each bench a unique difference. Each bench also has an end vise. In this case, it's a metal quick release vise. Easy to mount, very quick in its function, works out really well. Well, this has been a quick tour of the BARN Workbench. In the coming weeks, I'll fill you in on more details and show you how a large group of people can build 8 workbenches in a pretty short period of time. Anyway, thanks again for watching. This is Tim Selesky again for Popular Woodworking. See you next time.